The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Not there already. All right, moving on to the shocker of the night. Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Jeez, dear God.
Pinning Bron Breakker. So before I get to you guys, I'm going to give you my analysis, right? I think when we were on ESPN, I didn't think Breakker was going to win, but I expected maybe a double count out or maybe disqualification. I've got to tell you, I'm in shock that they put Sami Zayn over. I don't know where they're going with this now. And again, it's not a bad thing, but I think, again, I think it does damage to Bron Breakker, or maybe not, because we were flipping out about Gunther at WrestleMania. Now we know he's going to beat Damian Priest at SummerSlam. Guys?
Well, this was the part of the night where I said I hate wrestling. I hated this decision. I absolutely hated this decision. I was furious. I mean, Karen was locking up the dogs. I was out of my chair and in full Mark mode. Absolutely hating this decision. I don't see how this helps Bron Breakker at all. This is now the second time that the WWE has tried to tell me with a straight face that Sami Zayn is main event type material. I can't get past it. My stomach is in better shape than Sami Zayn's. Okay? I'm in better shape than Sami Zayn. All right? I can't do this anymore. When he beat Gunther, I was disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. It never should have happened. This doesn't mean Sami Zayn's not Intercontinental title worthy, because he is, especially in today's landscape. But I can't take when Sami Zayn beats Gunther after a record-setting reign, pins him, and now you're doing this to Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker is not somebody who should be getting pinned by Sami Zayn. All right? Yeah, time will pass. They'll re-strengthen Breakker. We'll learn to forget about this decision. But in the moment, I hated every second of it, because I can't buy for 1 second that Sami Zayn should be able or should beat Bron Breakker. I don't understand that booking. I thought it was absolute total horseshit. Benny?
Yeah. Here's what I wrote down during the match. I just find it impossible to suspend my disbelief. Sami Zayn looks like the only time he visits a gym is when Planet Fitness is giving away free pizza. And Bron Breakker gets his physical exams at the Peterbilt plant. The guy's a truck. Like Mike, I did expect Sami to retain, but I thought, what would happen is, a scenario where maybe Sami was propped up against a ring post, Breakker does his lap around the ring and, hits the post, gets counted out. But to lose via pinfall, I did not think that was a good decision.
I agree. I don't want to argue that the WWE, they're surprising everybody. Like, it's not easy to guess what's going to happen anymore, right? So, it's certainly shocking, to say the least.
I gotta retract my statement.
I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do with Bron Breakker now.
I don't know either, but as I sit here smoking my non-filtered cigarette, I'm going to probably say maybe I'm not in better shape than Sami Zayn, so let me retract that. But at the same time, though, I agree with Benny. He's probably getting his workouts over at Domino's. I just don't understand it. I thought it was horrible. Just a horrible decision. Doesn't make any sense to me. What do you do with Breakker now? Does he win the title on Monday? I mean, what are we doing?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Does he go at Heyman?
Did you listen to the post conference with Zayn saying, "Hey, people keep expecting me to lose, but
right,
when am I no longer going to be expected to lose?" Again, I expected Breakker to lose by disqualification and this carry on to SummerSlam. If
right?
you beat him flat out by pinfall, how do you get a rematch?
Right.
How does that
Exactly.
even happen?
Right. And on top of it, let me explain it this way
So
using old school analogy, Mike. In the old days, okay, Benny spelled it out perfectly. You got a guy in the ring who's not even close to being in the shape of the bulldozer he's fighting, right? In the old days, when there was a face that was beloved the way Sammy is today, the face was a guy like Backlund. Backlund many times stepped into the ring with a guy who was bigger than him, way bigger than him. But when Backlund would beat him, there was a couple of things that made it a lot more acceptable. Number one, he was chiseled, built of granite, looked like an absolute athlete, one way or the other, even if he was outmatched in size. Number two, legitimate background. Okay. I mean, I look at Sami Zayn and I'm like, why are you pushing this guy on this kind of level as a face? LA Knight is currently just as popular as Sami Zayn. I don't see anything happening for LA Knight, but we'll get to that later. You know, I don't understand the love affair with Sami Zayn. Just a really great company guy and behind the scenes for doing things like he did with the Johnny Knoxville match or whatever. He's getting his love behind the scenes. I can't explain it any other way. There's no legitimate reason to me that Bron Breakker should have been downsized tonight. He was downsized. I could have even lived with your guy's finish
so
as much as I would have
where
hated
where
that.
are we going with this, guys?
I
Where are
don't
we
know.
going with this? Are you going with Chad Gable? Are you going with Otis? I mean, who's wrestling him at SummerSlam?
Chad Gable has failed multiple times, right? Hasn't he? With
Yeah.
Sammy? He's
Yeah,
failed multiple times.
yeah.
He has failed multiple times.
Many times
What do
with
you do with
Gunther
any
and
of what do you
Sammy,
do with any of them? I don't know who Sammy's fighting. What are we gonna have another Kevin? I don't want to see Kevin and Sammy again for maybe not forever. You know? I don't know.
Listen, you got to think about it this way. There's less than a month before SummerSlam.
Right.
I don't know where they're going with this whatsoever. It's a shocker. I mean, they usually come through with a good storyline, man.
Wait
So
a
I don't
minute.
want to
Wait a
say it
minute.
was the
Wait.
wrong thing to do. I was just you.
I just thought of something. We're asking who's next for Sammy. Isn't there a certain Irishman who has not ever won the Intercontinental title? He mentions it over and over again. It's the one belt missing from his resume. Isn't that Sheamus?
the arse kicker.
So perhaps Sheamus
Is that
comes in and
is that the
attacks him.
match we want to see at SummerSlam?
No,
See at
no, but
SummerSlam?
that's the match. No, but that's the match you're probably going to get. The
Ugh.
match you're probably going to get. And oddly enough, Sheamus will probably finish his story as a bad guy and take the belt from Sammy. I don't know. I'm just speculating again, but we're trying to figure out who the hell Sammy's going to fight. That seems to be a fit. But
I
what do you
don't
do
get
with
it. I don't get it at all. I mean, they could have just done, like Mike said, a DQ or a count out. You know, Sammy retains, but, you know, keep Braun strong and then build up the match for SummerSlam. Like you said, a month away, you really don't have time to build a good story otherwise.
Right. Yeah, it was a very befuddling
Now,
decision. I thought
here's another shocker. Here's another shocker, right? We said, how many times can CM Punk screw with McIntyre? They pulled it off again. I did not expect this ending. I did not expect Priest to walk out.